Hello, this is Jay Black with SteriCondemand.com. In this video, we're going to go over what's new with the inLab 16 CAD and CAM softwares. First, we'll start with the inLab 16 CAD. You'll notice we have a little bit different look with the system menu. Now, if you click on the top left-hand corner, the system menu shows up on the left-hand side. It's very easy to access rather than it being at the top where it used to be. Also, for each particular case, we now have a service export button. If you click on service export, you can go ahead and send the support.zip file to technical support, and it will have all the scans, images, design, everything for them to help you out if there's an issue. Alright, we also have some new implant tie-base choices with the new CAD 16 software. So if I go ahead and click on implant, let's say we want to do a abutment number 14, we have some new implant connections available. We have some for BioHorizon, CamLog, Dentsply, Sirona. We have the ankylose and EV. We have all of the tie bases that we had before. Strawman and thumb. Alright. Okay, this particular case, we're going to do some implant crowns and a regular crown, but we also have some new apps that are available to us. So if we go ahead and click on the system menu and click on apps, we have the partial framework software like we did before, and now we have the new inLab Splint 16 software. We'll go ahead and click on that. So once we import the models into the inLab Splint software, we have a couple choices. We can make a splint or an impression tray. On this particular case, let's do an impression tray. We'll go ahead and select the active jaw. It's the upper, and create impression tray. Okay, set model axis. Prepare model. Define insertion axis. Check our blockout. Arrow forward. Alright, so now we can create our impression tray. We can create it by plane. We're pretty much telling it how far we want it to go. Let's just say like so for this particular case. We'll click apply. Alright, now we can go ahead and edit these lines if we want to where we want our tray to stop. We can also add a handle. Let's say we want a handle right here, and we can add implant channels as well. Put one there and one here. Can arrow forward. Now that we have our tray, we can add a label to it if we want. We want to make our label size bigger. We can do that as well. Alright, so that's how to make an impression tray. Pretty cool. Now we can export it as an STL. All STLs now also are sent with .sci, which is Sirona case information. It's all extra info sent with each STL. Go ahead and save it. Make a name. And you can go ahead and print it or do whatever you want with it. All right, next. All right, also let's say we have an upper model here and we want to make a splint for that. Same thing. Go ahead and open up our apps. Click on inLab Splint 16. All right, our models are imported in. We'll select the jaw we want to make the splint for. So we want the upper, and we want to create a splint. Set our model axis. Go through the steps at the bottom. Find our insertion axis, check our block out. Alright, so create Michigan splint. We want to create it by line or plane. We'll do it by plane. Get rid of our lower. And adjust where you want it to be. You can choose your thickness, spacer, etc. Click apply. Alright, now we have edit jawline, so if we, this fell off over here, if we want to edit any areas we can. Click apply. Arrow forward. And now we have our splint. We also have some virtual grinding options here, and you can also open the jaw and add label just like before. And we can export. Alright, so two really cool functions with the inLab Splint software. You can create splints and impression trays. Alright, the next feature of the inLab CAD 16 software that I want to go over that's new. Let's say you have a prep here that's not great at all. I'll usually use this particular feature if I'm doing a temporary or something like that and I didn't prep it very well on the model. Obviously, can't see the margin. This would never draw no matter what. Should be re-prepped. But if we want to go ahead and get it milled out and prep some of this stuff afterwards, we have another tool in the insertion axis step. You can see it's pretty undercut. Really bad. But if we click this adapt margin box here, what you can see that's going to happen is the software will draw the margin out farther so that depending on this insertion axis that you have, it will overmill this area to this new margin that the software calculated so that this bridge will go down. So again, this is helpful mainly when I'm doing temporaries or something like that where I prepped a model and didn't do the best job of prepping to keep them all parallel. Alright, arrow forward. And you can see right here, this is the actual margin line, and this is where the software would have to put the margin in order for it to draw without being reprepped. Alright, we do have another plugin here that we can pull up. Click on our apps. We have the inLab Check plugin. This plugin allows a FEM analysis of restorations. The stress sensitivity of a restoration can be simulated. Alright, so now with the different materials, you can see the different areas of stress depending on what material you use. This can just help you with your design and see where a problem may occur. It's pretty neat. Close that. Alright. Next feature of the CAD 16 software that I want to go over is changing the type of crown for any particular unit that you have here. So let's say, you know, molar looks good here, but we wanted a third bicuspid instead. Not a big deal now. We'll just come to the adjust morphology step. Hit OK. Alright, so let's say for this particular case, even though molar should be here, we wanted 3 bicuspids for whatever reason. Okay, so over here on the right we have change tooth. Okay, we'll click on the tooth, and now we can change it to whatever we want. Let's say we wanted a premolar here. Just go ahead and click on premolar, and it will change it to a premolar. You can just go ahead and position your crowns where you want them. Go ahead and get our proposal. And now we have 3 bicuspids. So you can do this with any particular tooth you want. If you want to put 4 cuspids, whatever you want, you can do it now. Alright, next I want to go over the new tool function we have in the CAD 16 software is to create our own screw channel. Let's say we wanted 2 screw retained zirconia crowns here, and we scanned either stock abutment or tie base or something like that, blocked out the holes. We'll go ahead and mark our margins. Go to the design step. What's also pretty cool here is with our articulation feature, we used to be able to open up our incisal pin only in the positive direction. So if we wanted to go ahead and open the bite, you know, 2 millimeters or something like that, now we can actually close the bite as well if we want, which is very useful. Alright, so for this case we wanted 2 screw retained zirconia crowns. We're going to go ahead and click on number 18 and pull up our tools. If we right click, we no longer have a tool wheel, but they're all nice and neat right here, so we can just go ahead and choose which tool we want. We'll click on screw channel. Alright, so it goes ahead and makes our restoration transparent. We click on add screw channel, and our screw channel tool comes up. So we can change the axis of the hole by grabbing on this top little tool here, and we can move it into position where we want, like so. And if we want to change the diameter of the hole, we just grab it right here, and we can make it larger or smaller. Once we're happy with where our hole is, we can go ahead and click on the next one, and you see that it made a screw hole for us. Very easy. Let's do the same for this one. Add screw channel. Position it where we want. We can change the diameter. Go to another tool, and we now have a screw hole. Very easy. Love this feature. Alright, we can also reduce screw retain crowns. So let's click on number 18, click on reduce. Alright, so now if we were to go ahead and reduce this full, and click apply, you can see it takes down the entire crown. Okay, let's unreduce that. If we uncheck this box, consider minimal thickness, and check this box, consider screw channel, then what we can do is we can put a barrier around this channel. So say we want a 0.5 millimeter barrier, click apply. So now it keeps a barrier around our screw hole so we can layer whatever we want to layer. Pretty neat. Alright. Alright, another improvement with inLab 16 software when we're doing screw retain bridges. We'll first position our tooth element. What's pretty neat here is now we have two steps, the edit, restoration, and finalize step. So in the edit restoration step, we'll go ahead and adjust our teeth where we want. It's going to be independent of where these screw or where these implants are, so we can go ahead and design it very easily, and don't even worry about these till the very end. Once we have our bridge where we want it, you click on the finalize step, and you can see what it does is it makes the top restoration part and the implant part all one. So it's a lot easier to design this way. And once you get to this step, we also have some tools we can use, like if we want to smooth any areas right here where it's meeting the tissue, we can do that as well, or add any areas. So a very big improvement on designing screw retained bridges, having the two steps, edit, restoration, and finalize, to be separate. Alright, last feature I want to go over is, let's say you're doing a screw retained bridge with gingiva or something like that. When we go ahead and go to the produce stage, now once we're here, we can go ahead, we have different choices here. We can export to CAM, go ahead and mill it with the inLab MCX5, export to folder, or export directly to STL. And when we do that, we also have the option to close the screw hole. So let's say we wanted to export this with the screw holes closed and then import it in to make our crowns on top. We could do that, so it's pretty neat. Overall, I'm very happy with the inLab CAD software 16. They listened to a lot of our wants, fixed a lot of things that we needed fixed, and very excited for the future. The inLab CAM 16 has a lot of new features as well. We'll go ahead and start. Top left-hand corner, we have the context menu, which is located on the left-hand side of the screen. Makes everything very easy to access. We'll go ahead and start with a new job. First, we'll choose MCX5 or MCXL. Go ahead and choose MCXL for this particular case. Hit OK. Any crowns that we've designed for MCXL milling or imported will be right here, highlighted as so. Go ahead and put a check in the box. We'll select our blank. Alright, we'll go ahead and choose new blank. Let's choose Ivoclar, Emax, size C14. OK. Arrow forward. You'll see how to go ahead and position your crown in the blank. We can rotate it in the horizontal, vertical position, up and down, and now we can rotate it as well. So if blank's too small and you're really trying to get it in, or if it's a multi-layer blank, you can just go ahead and rotate it to where you need to. If you want to add another crown to this particular block, you can. Let's just go ahead and add this one twice. If you're just doing one unit, you can go ahead and arrow forward. And depending on what burrs you have in your milling unit, you can choose high or very high. If you have your extra fine burrs in, you can choose the very high function over here on the right hand side of the screen. Show blank history. We have a new legend that shows the restoration in the block, all the information about that particular block, and all the crowns that were in that particular block. Down at the bottom left hand corner, anytime you can access the blank database. So if you want to go ahead and add a new job, you can. New job. Let's say we want to do a ceramic crown in the MCX5 this time. We'll choose MCX5. Hit OK. Choose our restoration. We'll go ahead and select a new blank. So Ivoclar, Emax, C14. OK. Arrow forward. Go ahead and position your crown in your block where you want it. And again, you can move in the vertical direction or rotate it as well if you'd like. Next, we'll click on sprue positioning. Have our sprue, arrow forward, and we have the same options available as well. We have a multi-block holder option where you can position it in any position you want. If my MCX5 was hooked to this computer, I'd be able to show you what position we could put it in. Put up to 6 blocks in the multi-holder at once. Now we can also position bridge blocks anywhere in that multi-holder as well. The MCX5 now uses the spindle touch option, so it goes ahead and measures the block ahead of time to make sure that the user has put in the correct block size as well. So very big improvement there. Alright, go to the blank database again. Now let's say we want to mill some zirconia or something in our MCX5. We'll choose new job, MCX5, hit OK. What I really like about the CAM 16 is we're able to import STLs a lot easier than before, and we have some different options as well. If I click on new item here, we have some different options available. We can import .construction info from ExoCAD and .30x information from 3Shape. These are STL files which contain XML information that comes along with the STL file, such as margins, screw channels, insertion axes, something like that. So when they're imported in, that information comes with it. If you're just opening a traditional STL, now you can import multiple STLs at the same time instead of having to do one at a time, which is really neat. So let's go ahead and just choose to STL files. Go ahead and open them up. You'll see right here it says files 1 of 2. So we'll go ahead and do the first one, MCX5. This is a crown. This is miscellaneous zirconia. Add additional information. Here you can draw the margin line. Arrow forward. And now it'll bring you to file 2 of 2. This one is a screw retained bridge. So we'll click on screw retained bridge. This will be a peak or a pectin case. Add additional information. We'll go ahead and outline the screw channel. As we did that, you can see it found the screw channel for us, which is a very big improvement. So we'll go ahead and do that for each one. Arrow forward. And now our STLs are brought in. So much easier to bring multiple STLs in at the same time. So let's say we want to choose some zirconia crowns and position them in our disc. Let's get a big bridge here and maybe a couple smaller units. We'll go ahead and select our blank. Let's go ahead and choose a new blank. If it was a Sirona disc, you can click scan blank here and it will go ahead and activate your webcam, and you can go ahead and scan the barcode and it will show up all this information for you. Let's choose a new multi-layer blank. So new blank, miscellaneous, zirconia multi-layer. Let's choose a 20 millimeter. Put in our enlargement factor, which is found on the side of the blank or on the box. Put a check mark. Arrow forward. I'm going to go ahead and position our restorations in the block for us. We can move them around wherever we want. We can position them in the horizontal position. Vertically, you can see this is based on the Katana multi-layer disc. So you can move it up and down. So if we want more incisal, less incisal. Now we can also rotate our restorations. So you can rotate it in the disc, which is pretty cool. This really helps if you're trying to fit something in a disc. If the curve of spee is canted, you can go ahead and grab it and adjust it. Alright. Next we'll go to sprue positioning. So to go ahead and automatically position our sprues for us, we can go ahead and change them if we want to. So let's go ahead and delete one off of our anterior here and add them somewhere else. Very easy. Just go ahead and add them wherever you want. So something like that. If you want to delete a sprue here, if it's too close to the margin, we can add it somewhere else as well. Alright, arrow forward. Okay, so now we have some different options. We have production options and machining mode. Production options, what that means is we have very high, high, and low. So very high, we'll use the 2.5, 1.0, and 0.5 burr on the outer surface. High, we'll use the 2.5 and 1.0, and low, we'll use the 2.5. We also have machining mode. We have fast, normal, and gentle. So depending on the restoration type or how thick the margin is, the user has the option to use any combination of these that they wish. And again, if they want them all the same, they can. Or if they want, let's say they want this one to be high, this framework to be low, you have different options as well. So you can interchange everything in the disk as you wish. Go ahead and go to Show Blank History. It'll show everything that is in that particular disk. So I'm really excited about the improvements with the inLab CAM 16 software. We have a lot more options available to us. Makes our lives a lot easier. I'm really happy with all their hard work that they've done to put the kind of things in the CAM software that we've been asking for a long time. Thank you very much.